What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Wake Up with Baseball. Starting a little bit later than normal here, but it's Easter Monday, so hopefully everyone's having a good Easter weekend. We went out for an early morning walk today, me and my fiance. We saw some beavers and some otters, so that was really fun in that. But I got to get back in here and give you guys the update from last night's games. We had 12 games across the slate, and oh my God, did it end with an exciting game last night with Anaheim Angels and the Chicago White Sox, but we'll get to that at the very end. Overall, we're going to just jump right into it and look at all these games from last night. So let's pull them open. We starting things off here. We got the Phillies and the Braves, so let's just jump into that. If you're new to this, we just kind of go through all the box scores quickly. Try to do this quick because there are lots of games, and overall, if these videos are too long, no one's going to really care, right? So the important thing here is Phillies 3-0, and starting off with a big start. And they really, if you look at the pitching stats overall, Philadelphia this time, they really kept the Braves at bay. 2-1 win here. Most notably here, Freddy Freeman didn't get a single hit over the series. Did come out, and some people are talking about that he's just not, his mindset isn't in the game. Apparently just had a couple newborns or something like that, and his mind's on his family right now, but he says he's going to be back and back in action. Home runs here, Travis d'Arnaud for the Philadelphia Phillies. We got Knapp for the Phillies, d'Arnaud for the Braves, their only run. Eflin goes 7 innings, 8 strikeouts, so Philly starters really strong here, and honestly, I'm very happy, and this was a big question mark for the Phillies, whether their starters would be solid this year. The bullpen's getting the job done. Neris comes in for his first save of the season. And on the other side, they had Ian Anderson, 7 Ks over 5 innings. He had a very good start himself, 1 earned run. But the bullpen ends up blowing this game. And the Phillies are 3-0. One of few teams left now that are undefeated. On to this next one. Yankees 1, Blue Jays 3. My Blue Jays are 2-1, so very exciting about that. Borecki ends up getting the win, and Herman gets the loss on this one. But overall, it really was 1 inning and 2 home runs that won this game. Vladimir Guerrero hits his first home run of the season, and it's a big thing because a lot of the talk in Blue Jays is that Guerrero put in a lot of work. He was embarrassed about last year, how out of shape he was, etc. So he's in here, he's hitting home runs already, and Grichuk hits the other home run, also known as Mr. Yankee Killer himself. Zook gets the job done, coming in, really just filling in the role while Robbie Ray and all that's out for the Jays. He goes 4 innings and only 1 K, but the win goes to Borecki, who ends up pitching just 0.2 innings, which is so weird. I don't really like that. But on the other side, King comes in and actually pitches more innings than the starter. He goes the rest of the game after Herman is out, 6 innings, no earned runs, and only 1 hit. So he comes in and really gets the job done. And that's an interesting role that they have King doing for the Yankees. But overall, Jays win this series, and they got to be really excited that they're moving on to Texas today. Here we go. Another team that's 3-0. We got the Baltimore Orioles. Did we really think we'd be talking about them? Highlight things here. Zimmerman, a guy who's been like all over and really in the minors and not a whole lot of expectation. He pitches a gem today, but I want to talk about Cedric Mullins. 5 hits, 5 at-bats here, but 0 RBIs, which is very interesting. Really interesting statistic here. No home runs for the Orioles. They just put up all these runs on a bunch of hits. Mountcastle had a decent game. Overall, their whole offense was really clicking, but Cedric Mullins has to get the cake, right? On the other side, J.D. Martinez hits the only home run for the game, really, and it was in the 4th inning off Zimmerman. Garrett Richards got annihilated, 2 innings pitched, 6 earned runs, 7 hits. Not a good start for him. And Zimmerman on the other side, he went 6 innings with 3 earned runs. Nothing great, but gets the job done for these Orioles. And they're off to a 3-0 start. Will they be able to keep up? Unlikely. But for Boston fans, this is not how they wanted to start by the team they should be beating up on, maybe. Losing, getting swept. So the Brooms were out at Fenway and not in the good way. Cleveland finally bounced back a little bit here. 9-3 win over the Tigers. It kind of looked like it was going to get out to the way it had been the past 2 days. 2-1 after the first. Tigers had the lead after the first inning, all the games so far. But Cleveland finally had their bats wake up, and it was late in this game in the 7th inning. They put up 4 and then 8 and then 1 to get that one done. Some home runs for here. Luplow in the 7th off Daniel Norris. Pharrell Reyes off Farmer, he hit a home run, and then Austin Hedges hits a one in the 9th. So all their home runs come 7, 8, 9, which is, I guess, it's okay. Better late than never, but they were down 3-1 going into that, or 3-2 going into that 7th. So had their bats not woken up and what we've been seeing, they hadn't been. So they're happy to at least wake up and come away with one win here. On the side of the Tigers, Nomar Mazara hits a home run. And interestingly, this Badu guy, his first at-bat, his first pitch he's ever seen in the MLB, he hits a home run, and his family was very excited. They were there in attendance, and that's something very notable and exciting for them. Skubal, 5.1 innings, pitched 4 strikeouts. And on the other side, Savali goes 7 innings, 6 Ks. Overall, he got 3 earned runs, and the Cleveland pitchers seem to be doing what they've been doing. So it's the Tigers. I'm excited to see how Cleveland's going to hold off in the next few series. And if they can really turn it around with their bats, they're going to be all right. Here we go. The Reds 12, the Cardinals 1. After last night's bench clearing brawl, the Reds come out firing, and they take the series here. Castellanos has a game, and being the instigator really of all that mayhem yesterday, he's happy to come in here and show them how it's done. Castellanos had a triple. He had a home run, his 2nd of the year. Tyler Naquin has his first home run of the year as well for the Reds. No home runs on the Cardinals side, and they kind of struggled on offense today. They got 5 hits, but they were 2 spread out and only got the 1 run. So not a whole lot to report on that one. Pitching-wise, Carlos Martinez, 4 earned runs. He's going to get the L here over 5 innings. And Hoffman, 6 Ks, 1 earned run. So a solid start for this Reds pitcher. And I'm going to be watching to see how the Reds hold this offense. If their offense can keep going and their pitching can at least hold their own, this is a good start for the Reds. And they got to be pretty excited with how this team's turning out. On the other side, Cardinals need to figure out the offense wasn't quite what it needed to be in this last game, but it's only one game, so we're not going to hold too much into it. Moving on, we got Texas, Kansas City. One of the series I didn't spend a lot of time watching. It's so hard to watch all this baseball, right? They're all on at the same time. But Nate Lowe, he hits his first home run of the season, as well as this Kinner Falafel guy hits one as well. Nate Lowe is this guy who kind of battling with Guzman for that first base role. And he seems to be off to a good start himself. Guzman, on the other hand, he was playing first base today. Didn't get any hits, so he's still batting 0. I think this was the first game. It seemed like the first game for him. On the other side, Kansas City's offense still doing pretty good. Like, you can't hold them too much. They had 8 hits over this one, and they had a home run for Salvador Perez, so that's his home run. Pitching side, this seems to be the struggle right now for Kansas City. Their starting pitchers keep getting smashed. Brad Singer only went 3.1, 5 earned runs, so that's going to be a big question mark for Kansas City. We know their offense has something, but their pitching is very questionable, at least in this first series with the Rangers. Lyles goes 5.2 with 8 Ks, so very good start for him. And he picks up the W for the Rangers' first win of the season. Moving on, Minnesota, Milwaukee, not so much a pitcher's duel as it was the night before. Pineda picks up the W, and Phil Hauser gets the loss in this one. It's 8-2 final. I think I might have said that already, but the runs really started piling in the 6th. Home runs for the Minnesota. We got Garver, and Sano hits a nice one as well. And on the other side, Jackie Bradley Jr. hits a home run for the Milwaukee Brewers. This one was close. It was only 2-1 Minnesota until the 6th inning, and that's when it kind of got away from the Brewers. They had a somewhat rough inning. I think the error ended up leading to all that damage, including the Sano home run, which pretty much capped it off for them. Milwaukee, it hasn't looked good for them so far on the offensive side. Again, Yelich only 1 hit. It's only batting .250 so far. Again, 1 series in, so I'm not holding too much into it. And some of these great batters sometimes take a little bit of time to heat up. On the pitching side of it, Pineda went 5, struck out 5, 4 hits, so not an amazing outing when it comes to production, but no earned runs, so that's all I would really care about, right? Houser on the other side, 5 innings, 2 earned runs, so he didn't give up too much. It was the bullpen that really fell apart for Milwaukee. Usually a good staple for them, so it's something we're going to be considering going forward. I think that with the games before too, they hadn't looked too great. Let's move on to the Chicago Cubs. They get away with a series win, and it was close at one point here, and if it wasn't for this one, they could have possibly got the loss. Craig Kimbrel comes in, he gets his first save of the day. Davies picks up the win, and it was a close one, 4-3. They take over, and if we look at the hits, 3 hits for Cubs, 7 for Pirates, so they got really close, but really came down to a home run. Ian Happ hits a home run in the 3rd inning, and on the other side, Colin Moran hits the home run for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Some interesting Contreras, who had an amazing spring, went 0 for 4 strikeouts. He's still looking for his first hit of the season. Pedersen, he also still looking for his first hit of the season. A lot of Cubs still looking. We got Boat, even though it was just a pinch hit, still looking for his first hit of the season. So the Cubs scraped by against the Pittsburgh Pirates, which isn't very exciting because they're supposed to be the worst. So Cubs have a lot of work to do if they're going to be a threat. But Kimbrel, that's positive, comes in the 9th, gets it done, 2 strikeouts, no hits or no walks. So that's at least one positive sign for the Cubs going forward. And that's pretty much what I got. So the LA Dodgers here win 4-2 against the Rockies. Put up 3 in the first, and interestingly enough, those 3 were put up without a single hit. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but if you want to go back and watch it, or you just look it up, there's walks, there's hit by pitch, there's pass balls, all the fun stuff happens in that one. So they're up 3-0, and they really never looked back. Took a 4-0 lead in the 8th, and Colorado put up a couple, but not a whole lot to say there. Will Smith hits his first home run of the season in the 8th, and there's not a lot of offense going on right now for the Colorado Rockies in terms of home runs. Another one that they didn't get, Blackman went 0 for, he's batting 143. Trevor Story and Owens seem to be the biggest highlights of them this series so far. On the pitching side, Urias went 7 innings pitched at Coors, that's solid. 6 strikeouts, only 1 earned run, and Gomber on the other side had 7 walks, and that kind of capitalized on what I was talking about in that first inning. Not a great one for him, but Rockies 1-3, Dodgers still holding it strong, 3-0. And now we're moving on to the Houston Astros here, 9-2. They really just lay the beat down on the A's, and it wasn't just this game, it was all series long. They're 4-0. Technically the only 4-0 team in the MLB, but there's a couple teams undefeated, and they leading the charge right now. And they gotta be excited. This offense is really clicking. Their pitching seems to be taking care of business. On the other side, the A's, who were projected to possibly be second, are already starting to dig themselves a big hole. Like, I know we're like 4 games into the season, but when you get swept out of the gate by the team you're supposed to be competing with, it's not great. Canna is the only highlight really here. He had a triple and a double. Other than that, there's a couple guys got 1 hit, and not too much to say. On the other side, the Astros went to town. They got Tucker with a home run. Jason Castro hits his first home run of the season, and McCormick also hits a home run. So 3 home runs for them. Uquita went 4.1, 2 earned runs and 5 Ks. Doesn't get the W because of that 5-inning rule, and I'm starting to see it pop up a lot. On the other side, they went 2 pitchers. Another guy came in, Belak gets the win, 4.2. So combined 2 pitchers, they kind of did what the Yankees did, except it was split right down the middle. Manea picks up the loss, 5 earned runs over 4.2 innings. Moving on here, we got the San Diego Padres, Arizona Diamondbacks, 3-1 Diamondbacks. And they took a 3-0 lead after 3 innings and didn't look back. Padres kind of were shut down by this Widener guy. It's a lot of talk around him. He had a great game, so we'll just jump down to him. 6 innings, 5 Ks, 3 walks. Paddock on the other side, 4 innings. And then really after that, the bullpen got it done for the Diamondbacks. There wasn't a whole lot of offense all around. One highlights here, Tatis Jr. hits his first home run of the season. And while we're talking about Tatis, Interestingly enough, he's had 5 errors already this season in 4 games. All of last season, over 57 games, he only had 3 errors. So, that's maybe a little bit of variance, but maybe also a little bit of concern there for the San Diego Padres and their all-star guy with Tatis there. On the other side, there was no home runs for the Diamondbacks. Peralta did hit a triple, and he had a decent game with 2 hits, 2 RBIs. So just give him a little shout out there. I didn't watch too much of this series again. Can't watch a lot of them. And there's other games on that I was really focused on at that time. And to cap things off, this was the last game of the night, Sunday Night Baseball. And boy, if you missed this one, you missed out, because it was a great game. Shohei Ohtani was the big highlight, of course, on this one, because, this was the time where he was the starting pitcher, but he was also batting as the designated hitter, but technically not, because he was a pitcher. So he hit, in his starting pitcher role, he hit 100 miles per hour in his pitches, and it was clocked as the highest starting pitcher speed so far this season. And then he goes up to bat and he hits a home run in his first at bat, and it's clocked at insane velocity. And I'm reading that it was possibly the fastest velocity, but I don't want to say that. There's probably other ones, but overall, if you watch this game, he was all over it. It was a shame how this game ended for him. If you watch this one, in the 5th inning, Chicago White Sox put up 3 on him, and it had to do with some just insane play, and he ends up getting taken out at home plate after a thrown away ball, and it looked a little rough, but turns out afterwards they're saying he's okay, so not any concern. But if you're in line here, you got to be watching Ohtani. Ohtani is exciting baseball to watch. This one ended up going to the 9th with the Angels with a little bit of a lead, but the White Sox, again, they tied up, and it was off Iglesias. Iglesias blown save here, just throws it away twice, and it was just craziness. And the White Sox end up tying it up. But after all that said and done, what's his name? Walsh comes in here and hits a home run, walk-off home run, 3-run bomb. And interestingly enough, I found out that this guy's also been a pitcher in the MLB too. So just the Angels seem to like that kind of player, right? 3-run home run for Walsh wins the game. Ohtani hit a home run. I talked about that. That's sort of the 2 real home runs. Really, the White Sox struggled a lot. I think at one point they were 0-18 with runners on base. And if there wasn't errors or pitchers throwing it away, they probably would have had a lot more trouble scoring, and this one would have been close. Ohtani, he was given a lot of leash in the 5th inning here to get out of it, and had that play not happen, they wanted to get him out with the win, but he had some struggling with walks. He had 5 walks, 1 earned run, 7 Ks. Overall, he's not going to get the win, but that's all right. On the other side, Dylan Cease, nothing too special, nothing too painful, 4.233. And yeah, the Angels, this was such a great way to cap off the weekend and the first round of series. It was a great game, and that's basically it. That's Wake Up with Baseball with me, Alex Hart. If you enjoy this and want to look forward to some more baseball content, not just these reviews, but we're going to be doing more throughout the season, hit that like button, hit that subscription. I'd really appreciate it, and we'll see you for the next video. Cheers.